Do you ever feel a sense of urgency when a new phone comes out? That's not a coincidence. From artificially limiting features to straight up manipulating you with misleading specs. Today we'll talk about how smartphone marketing is designed to scam you. Let's start with Samsung. They have a lot of phones. They have Z series phones like foldables, Ultra phones, S phones, FE, and the list just goes on. I think the FE lineup is probably the most interesting one. It had a really good reputation, but Samsung just kind of messed it up. So back in 2020, Samsung released the S20 FE and everyone seemed to love it. It was kind of cheap at $699 compared to the flagship's outrageous $999, and it had three of the most important traits of the S20. A 120Hz screen, the same flagship processor, and the same main camera sensor. It was basically the phone to get because it had everything you'd ever want in a phone. But times have changed and now the S24 is basically a scam. And it only really exists for one reason. Let me explain. At $649, it's only $150 away from the original S24. The problem with it is that it compromises a lot compared to the S24. It has worse specs and it looks worse, just look at that notch. And because there's so much competition, it doesn't really compete well amongst other phones. It's actually pretty bad value when you compare it to the A55. Samsung can't even compete with themselves. But I don't think this is just an oversight. I think Samsung knows exactly what they're doing. They're being incredibly strategic. The FE series sits between the budget A series and the more premium S series. The FE offers flagship features like DeX, which is a desktop mode, and AI at a more affordable price. This gives buyers a taste of premium experience and it hooks them in. Samsung knows that by adding high-end features to the FE model, they can drive customers up the upgrade ladder. After getting a feel for the FE, the jump to the regular S24 is only $150 more. That's very tempting. But why settle for almost there when the best is so close? The FE is perfect bait. And while you're there, you might as well just buy the Ultra, right? And that's not the only time that Samsung has done this. The Note 20 non-Ultra was probably the biggest scam of the century. The actually good phone, the Note 20 Ultra, was packed with everything, the best cameras, the best screen, and the price to match it, $1,300. But the Note 20 non-Ultra was a $1,000 phone, and it was a 60Hz plastic phone that was worse in almost every way. Samsung was confused, they were lost, they were scared, or they just wanted your money. The Note 20 was the perfect reason to buy the Note 20 Ultra. For only $300, you'd get what felt like a massive upgrade. It was almost good value. It felt like a steal, which was the whole point. Purposely making one phone look so bad that the more expensive phone looked actually pretty good. Samsung didn't even care about the Note 20. It was probably not even meant to be sold that much. It was just a fat marketing tactic to make you spend more money. But what if I told you it gets even worse? Phone companies make the lower end phones artificially worse, forcing you to buy the more premium phones. For example, take the Pixel 9 and the Pixel 9 Pro. They both have the same processor and the same camera sensors, yet only the Pixel 9 Pro has the Pro camera controls. That's kind of ridiculous. But Apple isn't so innocent either with their Pro model iPhones. They have features such as Pro RAW, which let people have more creative control when editing their photos, as well as Pro Res, which is a similar concept but for editing videos. You might argue that those features required a more powerful hardware, but if you look back, the Pro RAW came out 4 years ago on the iPhone 12 Pro, and fast forward to today, the iPhone 16, a way more powerful device mind you, it still can't do either of those things. It's not even a hardware limitation. You don't get those features on a non-Pro model iPhone just because they don't want you to. Those features are essentially locked away behind a paywall like some kind of DLC, until you decide to wake up and spend your entire salary on a Pro model iPhone. But at least those features are actually kind of useful, because sometimes they can be completely overhyped or outright misleading. For example, the jump from 108 megapixels to 200 megapixels on the Samsung. On paper, it sounds impressive. Who wouldn't be mind blown by almost twice the megapixels? Is that double the quality, double the resolution? But even then, what does that mean? And that's the problem. It doesn't double anything. In fact, it doesn't really improve anything. You see, the higher number has an impact on the consumer's perception of quality. We always strive for higher numbers without really understanding the benefit. Same thing goes with performance improvements. You see numbers like 45% faster performance, 40% power savings. But again, what does that mean? Is my life gonna be 40% better? Am I gonna have 40% more friends? I wish. It purposely throws numbers in your face, confusing you, making you think that there is huge technological advancements, when in reality, nothing's gonna change if you upgrade. Those numbers don't even matter. In fact, life doesn't even matter. I'm kidding, but please subscribe. But we're not done yet. There are other psychological tricks that companies use to trick you. Did I put the word trick twice in one sentence? Anyway, one of those tricks being pricing. Consider the difference between $999 and $1,000. Although it's just $1, the perception of value changes dramatically. Our brains tend to focus on the first number on the left, leading us to subconsciously interpret 999 as being in the 900s and not in the 1000. Pricing strategy blurs the line between affordable and luxury. While the price stays high, it gives an illusion of affordability, appealing to budget-conscious consumers who crave a premium feel while staying on a budget. It convinces us that we're making a smart financial decision when we're really not. And what lowers this price even more is trade-in deals. So if you go to the Google store and you want to buy the Pixel 9 Pro, if you scroll down, it says get up to £550 back with eligible trade-in, which includes £200 in extra promotional value, which means if you trade in your phone, they'll give you additional £200 for no reason. Which makes me think, why would Google do this? They're not just being generous, are they? Well, you see, they want you to give up your phone. They're ensuring that you're not going to be using your old Pixel until it slows down, because then you're going to sell it and, God forbid, switch to a competitor. It's like them saying, let us take that trusty Pixel off your hands and then stay with us for a couple more years. It gives you enough of an incentive to stay with your loyal family, because look how easy it is to get the new Pixel 9 Pro. It's almost half the price after you give up your old Pixel. They offer even more money for iPhones, mainly because they hold more value over time, but also it makes it easier for you to switch from an iPhone to a Pixel. They can take that phone and sell it and not lose that much money. And even if they do, your brand loyalty is more important because it's like a subscription. Because now you're stuck in this trade-in program loop, ensuring that you'll stay with them for years. And in a way, you're completely disregarding the existence of other companies because it makes it such a hassle to upgrade now. Especially when Apple doesn't even want your old and dusty Pixel. So in conclusion, phone companies are desperate. They need to eat. They're artificially making their phones worse, overhyping and overselling specs. They're playing psychological tricks and trapping you in their ecosystem. And you all just keep buying the new phones. And I don't blame you. So do I.